Okay, so I thought I would just do a very quick run through of this drum since I didn't do that in the other video that I did with the sound file. So, first things first, I guess that the most obvious thing about this drum is the way it's finished in terms of the hardware. You've got the brass hoops on the top and bottom, and then you've got all the chrome work in the middle. Seems to be a little bit polarizing, that issue. People either seem to love it or they don't. Personally, I can kind of see what they were going for. I think the whole thing offsets itself sort of kind of nicely, but I guess that's either something you're either going to like or you're not. You know. But the actual shell itself, it's an interesting. To me, it kind of reminds me of a sort of a snakeskin type pattern. When you actually look close up at the hammer marks, I like it. The whole thing, as I said, the whole thing is a package I like, but I think this is actually the first properly, really hammered drum I've got. So it was quite cool in that sense to get hold of it. Hardware wise, 8 double-ended sort of these bridge lugs. You've got the sort of fairly standard Tama strainer there. It works. It's kind of pretty much an only on and off thing. It's not like the Trick where you've got multi-positions or some of the others where like the DW 3P and that sort of thing. It's not like that. It's, as I said, it's pretty much on or it's off. But dual mechanism anyway, so you've got the ability to change the tension from the other side as well. Also, it's got the quick release sort of bolts on it. I said it's an 8 lug, came with Remo heads, top and bottom, which you know, obviously Tama branded. I can't remember the specifics of the wires. They are Tama branded wires though, so this has, because I did see someone asked on YouTube, this has a weld in it, which I think I did put in the other video, but you might not have actually realised it was there. It's quite faint. In fact, as I say that, I'm going to actually try and find it. Right there it is. So, I mean, you can see the weld, but I wouldn't say it's the most sort of prominent of lines. You certainly can't see it on the outside of the shell, and that's really where it matters. If you don't know anything about this actual shell anyway, it's a 14 by 6.5. It's all hand hammered as well. The hammering pattern is slightly, well, it's a bigger hammer used on the inside of the shell and a smaller hammer used to the outside. 3 air holes, copper shell, as you probably would have gathered that by now. You've got fairly, snare beds are kind of sitting about there. They're quite shallow. Overall, it's a very sensitive drum. I love, for me, this drum sits better at a medium tension, which was the second tension I did in the other video. In the room, it didn't work for me at the high tension or the low tension. Not to say it didn't come over sort of, it sounded better actually on tape, listening back to it at those 2 other tensions. I didn't think it sounded quite as good at the higher tension or the lower tension, but you know, I think it was passable, it was usable, both of those. So you know, thing I like about this the most though is definitely the sound. It has a very pure ring to it, which I hopefully captured a little bit of at that medium tension on the video. Certainly if you even just doing that, you can. There is you won't probably pick up on that microphone, but there is a very sort of fundamental clear ring to it. It's very low, but you can definitely hear it, and it's got such a pure tone that it was something that if you go and watch the Tama like official video for this drum, you'll probably hear it, but you know, very pure tone, and that was the thing that actually kind of most attracted me to this drum. So I've got to do a very quick shout out to Graham Russell Drums in Fareham. They were absolutely kind enough to hook me up with this drum, and so thank you guys, do appreciate that. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, the last thing actually I will say about this is it's a lot heavier than I was expecting. It's a lot heavier. I mean, it's not the heaviest drum by any means, but at the same time, it is heavier than I was expecting it to be. I've got at least one other 14 by 6.5 copper drum, and whilst they're absolutely completely different, this is heavier. You know, this feels it feels like it's on its way to being reassuringly heavy, and that can't be a bad thing. I would certainly have no problems using this in any situation musically. Anyway, hopefully that was a little bit helpful. If you were curious about this drum, thank you for watching, and if you haven't seen it already, do check out the sound file which I did earlier this week. Thanks a lot, see you next time.